You for the education council chair. So, I would like some please.
Machine. Whatever.
Some brown work I have to do first. So the other day, I had an executive, meeting. So chair for the future like this. Say something, so. Yeah. So I'll have one presentation, it's not for me. Williamson.
Steven?
Mr. Williamson.
Yes.
Is that in Williamson? So you have to give us some background on yourself.
I am a senior volunteer for the hospital.
Sorry, we need to make sure we get one person speaking at a time. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm senior volunteer coordinator with the department. I'm really happy to be here today. The reason that I came today is I wanted to introduce reading partners because we're here at the Bronx at one of your schools. So let me start by telling you our mission. Our mission is to help children become lifelong readers by empowering communities to provide individual instruction to measure real results. We're called Reading Partners for a reason. We partner with students, families, schools to help community members help kids meet this our mission. Our program model is to help kids have individualized instruction. In New York, we've been operating for 13 years. We have 20 partner schools. Each kid in the schools gets 45 minutes instructions twice a week. And we have, as I was saying, 20 partner schools. There's about 50 students per school at each site. Our program is aligned with state standards to best help kids get this instruction. So we are a 501c nonprofit, and our focus is supported by AmeriCorps and donations from corporations and individual and foundation and individuals that donate at all different levels. Here in the Bronx, we are at PS 18X. There's 2 reading centers there. One is virtual, one is in person. The goal at 18X was to get 100 students. We've already exceeded that goal. There's 113 students there. I don't have all the exact numbers, but there's about 78 students in the virtual program and 40 in the in-person program. We have a partner at Hostess College, and we have around 3 active Hostess College students. We have a school that is enrolling actively through an internship program. There's an education program, and they're sending us federal work study students, which is really exciting. So far this year, the Bronx has delivered 1,117 7 sessions, so it's really exciting. It's also a high school, Fordham High School, that has partnered and adopted PS18X, and there's 14 active high school students, and there's also other high schools in the Bronx that are actively engaged with PS18X, which is really exciting. We have 2 program coordinators at that school, and then there's a regional program coordinator that floats into that school. So there's active staff working, American members that work there. So it's really exciting. We're also looking to get more referrals, more schools for the Bronx. So really, the other reason that we wanted to come to this meeting was to get more engagement from the board, so that you can tell us more places to go, more schools to engage, more community locations that we could potentially partner with to get more people involved. So we establish these are schools and places that I was talking about. So we have religious institutions, partnerships with libraries, NYSHA, community centers are involved. So what are we hoping for? We're looking to get more relationships, anyone that you can think of that we can go out and partner with, individual residents, any place that you can think of that you can refer us to. So why do we do this work? Basically, we do it because our students who we partner with, they're amazing, they're intuitive, they're diverse. Most of the schools that we're in are Title I schools. They are historically underserved. Our mission is educational diversity, educational equity. We understand that many students do not have the same opportunities that others have. So our North Star is advancing educational equity, and it's our mission to feel that we have that students deserve equal education. We feel that it's a civil right, and we want to depend to get books into kids' hands and to make sure that every child has the capacity to read a grade level by 4th grade. So our program last year, 84% of the kids by 4th grade, and kids, all kids by 81% of all the kids in the program exceeded or met their literacy levels by end of the academic year last year. So 1,041 people stepped up to support New York City kids as tutors, being partners tutors last year. Tutors helped 1,100 students learn to read last year, and they helped they contributed 24,510 tutoring sessions. There were more than 500 people served as in-person tutors. So this is what our tutoring sessions look like. Basically, we have 2 program models. We have the Reading Partners Blended, which is our in-person model. And we say blended because what happens is the tutors go to the reading centers, but they deliver the lessons using computers. And then we have a 100% virtual model, which is our Reading Partners Connect model. So the tutors are 100% virtual. Students are in a school at their reading center. The sessions are virtual. So those are our 2 models. Reading Partners Connect uses the graduate release of responsibility model. So we have what we call ONDO, where the tutor explicitly gives direct instruction, and the tutor models the skill of the day. Then they move to redo, where the student and the tutor work together to provide, and the tutor provides that guided instruction. And then they move to the student demonstrating that they understand the skill every day, and it's gradually released. So that means that the student's paced. So maybe one student does this lesson in one sitting, but another student may take two or more sessions to gain mastery over this. A typical session is 60 minutes, 15 minutes of prep time, followed by 45 minutes of the lesson. Every lesson starts with a tutor read aloud, and then they go into the skill of the day. And then there's an ends with the student read aloud, and then the tutor delivers their tutor notes. And there's always a program coordinator here that is there to provide feedback, monitors the lesson, and helps them during the prep time and make sure that everything is set up properly so that when the student arrives, the tutor is all ready for the lesson. So this is how the tutor gets ready. They do a tutor orientation, that's 90 minutes. They sign a tutor code of conduct, in which they agree to the rules of the program. They do a background check that clears them to make sure that they don't have any problems in their background. Then they share their availability, and then they provide that availability, and then they're scheduled to tutor, and then they meet their students. So basically, that is how they get ready for the program. And so what we're hoping is that in partnership with the board, we can increase the number of people that hear about the program and ways in which we partner together.
So, Mr. Chairman, for some questions, if any members are, being aligned with, the board, one, channel. And it's available on our YouTube channel, so. And there we go.
So, as we go, anyone have any questions?
Is there any restrictions where you would go?
Restrictions?
Yeah, of places where people follow the program, because I work with formerly incarcerated people, or you can start or in the justice system.
So, no, there's no restrictions. So we tutor kids from kindergarten to fourth grade. So I guess that would be the age range in which we work. And then as long as somebody, a volunteer that comes in is clear through their background check. So that would be the limitation. As so there are people that have had checkered backgrounds, but as long as whatever they, there are people that have had histories, so as long as it's clear their background, that's the only limitation.
For example, if somebody had some sort of case and was dismissed.
Yeah, as long as they're clear through their background check. So, there are people that have had things happen in their background, but as long as it's clear, like last year for a governor, they've done some things that, where you can clear your background. So as long as they're not even.
So, what do you compare different languages that you come across in school?
Right, so there are multi-language learners. And so, so as long as the person is able to speak English, then that is not a barrier to them being volunteers. We have many people who speak other languages and students also, so that's not a barrier to being a volunteer.
You got an influx of everybody who's English.
Right, and so we have the same thing. Right, exactly, and that students also, there's students who speak other languages as well, who are learning English. So, they're in the program as well. Programs run in English, they're learning English, they're learning to read, and so they're in the program as well.
Is the program free?
Yes, the program is free to children and their parents.
Is what's the age range that we serve students in?
Yes,
So that's it. So that's it.
yeah, so it, kids are, because the statistics in the data shows that you gotta get kids to read by fourth grade in order to impact their, the data shows that, so we try to get them to reading, by grade level, by grade grade. So we are trying to catch them between kindergarten and fourth grade to make that. And then there are other programs that help kids from, older, but our impact, our goal is to catch them at those early ages.
Is this paid opportunity for tutors or is it volunteer?
So this is volunteer based, but tutors come into the program that are work study. We have partnerships with a lot of nonprofits that pay them. So we will then do all the paperwork or anything that's required to assist all these nonprofits. We have a lot of interns that are paid and we support them to anything that is required so that they can get those work opportunities. So we have many partnerships in which people get paid, like foster grandparents, they come into our program and they're paid, and we support all the paperwork and their payrolls and all that stuff to get them paid.
What days are sorry.
Monday through Thursday, is the official tutoring, and then Fridays are for substitute.
Sorry, hours.
8 in the morning to 4.
They're in the school, it's not school.
Yeah, it's during school day. And there are some after schools, it's basically 8 to 2, and then there's after school program, on school days, so that's less schools.
So the child gets pulled out of the classroom.
Yes,
And do teachers identify students that need this type of like?
so it's in partnership, so there's partnership between, and we work closely with school teachers, I don't know exactly the term that's used, but, the people that do their assessments for, learning and all that, parents, so they're referred to a lot of different mechanisms into, partners.
Recently, you mentioned GSPP.
Yes, because that's the one school we have in the Bronx. So we're looking to find more students in the Bronx, but that's our school this year.
I have another question. So if we're a school, right, let's say, have a school and I want to get this program into our schools to service our children. What, can you walk us through what are the steps, what needs to be done, what is the process?
So basically, the principal or leadership of the school contacts reading partners. They work together, develop a contract to bring reading partners into the school. So basically, reading partners gets involved into the school by leadership of the school.
What's the biggest barrier at this point?
Is getting invited into the school.
Why do you feel like that's the barrier?
I personally don't know, because I'm pretty much just volunteer coordinator. That's kind of administrative, but it's pretty much getting the word out, and getting, it's like, I think, I've only been part of the, but I think it started in Harlem, so there's been a lot of schools in Harlem. So there's like, and I think probably, but in Manhattan, there's like 10 schools. So it's big in Manhattan, it's slower in the Bronx, there's more schools in Brooklyn, so I think was right was sort of in the direction of Harlem, Brooklyn, Queens, and now Bronx, so Bronx is, so that's right.
Get more schools involved.
Well, that's kind of why I'm here. We're trying to do that. We're trying to push Bronx. And I think part of the idea is to go to the board. And so this was, my first time on here to do that. I started going to libraries. I've been kind of tracking my way through two different places, trying to get to know the Bronx, to try to find ways to spread the word, and, people and build organizations and try to find
Chairman.
ways to get to know the people. So, see how to spread the word. I know that there is, I don't know what the cost is, but I know that there is a small fee involved with bringing, there's no cost to families or students, but there is a cost to the school. I have no idea what it is. I don't think it's a big cost, but there is. The idea is that, there has to be different, to make it work. But all I do as like volunteer coordinator is kind of come out and spread the word, and then administration comes along. So I have no idea of any of that.
Have you ever CDC? Education Council.
This is literally my first.
So, by being with the CDC, they travel around to different schools and that's where they work. Also, principals from the other schools in the district attend and superintendent. Right? So, that's the way I became for yourself. CDC. You meet the first Tuesday of every month. All right. 501 47th Street, 6 o'clock. That's the way of meeting, and they have hours. Someone else. Thank you.
That's exactly what I was gonna be on that same piece of ensuring that, because I was gonna ask for public schools versus charter schools. What is the interest of your organization? Public schools. So that's exactly what the chair said, mentioned about engaging, and our superintendent, pieces, right, and there'll be great opportunity because we wanna make sure that, we have the highest instances of, families that have, housing insecurity. So they were either in a temporary, living with family or in the shelter system. And we have also high instances of other, needs. So I feel the chair has the literacy of experience serving as a board president of that council to definitely connect you with that, and we can work through my office to ensure that you get that, connection. So feel free to reach out. The chair will provide information.
You in the Bronx every day.
No, I'm not for it. But I have Brooklyn and okay,
Meet me at 501.
sure, excellent.
And his staff. And, and also the CEC offices there. I was there today, I didn't see nobody there, but I just went to the office. And I mean.
That's in the Bronx.
Yeah,
Okay.
on 48th Street. Block, you see Burger King. One block, you make that up. All right, see, your parking lot, that's it.
Okay.
Do you have success rates, or success statistics about how well your program has varied so far since its implementation and this one school?
At this school, just what I said today, but we'll have more data. We'll have our impact report at the end of May. Yeah, so I'll be able to circle back with you and do that.
I want to reframe my question. I don't have any children. I do work with multi-touch. For instance. So what can I do? Should I call my assembly member and tell them, hey, I want this in school? Should I tell like people, my parents, they should ask for school to have that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because what we know is that if we impact kids, like what the data shows is the University of Chicago did a study that showed that if kids that don't get if they don't get their reading scores by third grade, they're less likely to go to high school, less likely to go to college. And then if they don't go to college, they don't go to high school, they're really likely to end up in the freshman. Right, exactly.
They start identifying our children in the second and third grades. That's when they start going to prison.
Right.
Because they use the dead,
Right, they didn't go as far as to say that, but they know
that's what.
that if they're not high school and they're not college, they're on the streets, so where do they end up? But they didn't go as far as to say that, but basically we know it.
That's
If
what-
they're not in high school, they're not in college, they're out there, they're on the streets, so.
that's like totally- 3,000 for them. Sometime. Association. There's a conversation.
So,
Mr. Lee, you have any questions?
no. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't, I'll go outside and get my car.
Oh, I appreciate it.
So we can, definitely. Superintendent. If you can. Get a motion to adjourn, they know, Ramadan. I hear this coming around.
Oh, I have business.
Have you got business from me?
Yeah, I have business for you.
Okay.
Okay, so we had, I was at the president office for the budget. And, the issue is I think they're cutting, summarizing, Department of Youth and Community Development. For summarizing, they cover the after-school portion, so like DOE covers like whatever to 2 o'clock. And then DYCD covers the after-school. So Eric Adams secured that the DOE portion for everybody, like elementary grade goes at 6, but middle school grade goes at 2. Department, District 75 kids also gonna close at 2, because of the $19 million cut from the, USDA. And so that, I don't know what we're supposed to do about that, but that's a problem. That's a problem, and I don't know what advocacy mechanism, so that's already in place for this year, 2024. That's just a wrap, right? Like, it's a wrap. The kids are coming out to apply, but it's supposed to also, project.
So you know, when Governor Cuomo, he took funds back from right, so there's been bus rides back in the Bronx. They advocate to get funds redistributed. They keep claiming getting, I believe they move it around, you know, Eric Adams, it's saying one thing. So DYCD, it's kind of took over some of you. Right? They do a lot of everything, I'm just like, right? But, you know, they say we went to the lottery and again, so all the kids that don't get selected. They got some in went to DYCD. As of May 1st, DYCD is officially taking some youth. All right, it's gonna look like. He's been putting a lot of money into gun violence. At one time, it was 5, literally 5 sexual killing games. Now it's 3. Some gun violence programs at 5 seconds. You know, I just found out, I'm just talking about the killing of like SOS, 3 sites, all right, they expanded. You know, that area is not, it's homes, it's not projects, it's residential. I didn't know, I don't know if the kid lived there around there was one who got shot over there. You know, St. Anne's. So, but I had got a call about the same school, the same program. A high school.
Charter?
Kid lives on other side of the Bronx, or past University, you know, Bronx State. The kid was playing real rap music. Okay, got a children, right around the fire. His aunt called me, she works in the dance. So, you know, when she's telling me, and I'm saying, well, since you listen to music, I'm your rap music, and there gotta be something that was said from that side about somebody who was, but they heard it, and when they asked him about it, and he was scared it was, okay, since I don't know if she transforms. But a lot of this stuff is in the music, all right, the neighborhoods we live in, things like that. And you know, a real problem, like we watched the video the other day. We don't vote. And when you don't vote, they don't care. All right, you get crumbs. All right. Community that don't vote, if you look at them for us in an election, you don't have numbers like that. You can't even fool a group of people to come as a block to vote against, against something. All right. This community board voted 50-0 against the jail. 4 people on city council voted against them. All right. You know, no matter what we say, what we do, but, and that's the thing, they're playing politics about children.
Yes, because they're gonna, like, they're out of jail.
That's why they go there.
So what do we say? Are we saying we like, I was thinking, like, do we write a letter to Salamanca? I understand the traction they get maybe not far. Or
That's Salamanca's district.
no, that's what I'm saying, Ayala, it's one letter, but that, yes, Ayala, Salamanca, only because the budget is not confirmed. We know the budget's not confirmed. We also know that, you know, what happens in the borough president's office is also like persuasive and not, solidifying, but I am concerned about what's going to happen between 2 o'clock and the rest of the day for these children, especially District 75, because I have to get them after school. They,
You gotta travel, man, from, and every night your facility, there's no community centers. There's no gyms, all right? For example, PS 18, all right? They got the baseball field. The baseball field is locked 24/7. So kids can't, in the projects can't even come over and look in the baseball. It's locked up, right? It's owned by the Parks Department, but really the school manages. The school right next to Western Beef, right? Got a baseball field, a huge baseball field. Years ago, when I was coming up, we used to use that school as the gym for African Center, all right? We didn't have all these shootings that we have today. Idle time was
Exactly.
that happened, especially in those people, all right? You know, you travel around, we got schools, the public schools have no gyms. They knocking down walls to make it look like a gym. You talk about obesity, right? We talk about McDonald's, look at the food game. You know, they got supersized, right? Meals at McDonald's, and look how they got children. You got parents who feed the kids McDonald's at home instead of one, which is cheap. Right? You know, same monetary, right? They go to McDonald's, you know. And, you know, I went somewhere in Chinatown, they also chicken wings when they sell it.
I wanted to ask you, like, why do you think, like, these basketball gyms are always locked up and baseball are always locked up?
And what's the point of these having spaces?
Yeah, you know, I remember in 2015, when I used to play basketball, I was taking it seriously. Me and my best friend, always looking for someone to play basketball out. You know, so we were practicing in like a garage, like literally. And so we went to the classic center over there, you know where it's at?
Yeah.
We went inside, no, we were like 14, 15 at the time. This is 2014. It's like, we get to the desk, and we're like, we use the gym. It's like, no gym here. But, like, we always reference that story, but like, we don't understand, like, why do we have all these spaces, but nobody can access them?
So, the real problem is, unfair family, because they the people there that care, they just didn't sell it. Right? I used to run forest. I was open 7 days a week, Christmas and Halloween. I realized the kids couldn't get to it, very little put to it. After service, I'm in the street, so what are you gonna do? So I had to, all right. It was a safe haven for me. I had one day, I just said, man, put a gym box on the stage. Box, disrespecting me, rap music, all right? And the cage that used to be stored with stuff. So we just cleaned it up, put a clean on the table, fit upstairs, somebody, for food table on it. Well, clean the beef, food table, bring that. Then I had somebody build a cabinet, we chipped in on TV, we reached out to the optimum, they get street cable. So at 2, 3 o'clock, we went to games at night. This was somewhere that they had to go, this was theirs, all right? You know, long we didn't have no police running there, fight, we were cool, but I stayed open. Keep them off the street. These kids were selling drugs across the street. Fat Joe, the rapper, caught on Trinity Avenue. He had a drug from he was stuck on the kids with filter and sit down. Kids ain't got no guns. They got bullets. That's where you gonna want you know that. Maybe it ain't meant for you guys to be drug dealers, all right? But they don't understand what it takes them. Right? Not somebody missing a package. You gotta make an example out of them, or they make it better. Everybody laughing at you. But and anywhere you go in this area, when you see a housing project, it's no community centers.
But I hear you, but there's something we can try to do. I don't understand. Like we vote, and politicians care about community work. They know those are the most active constituents in their areas. I don't know what we can do, but we can try to do something.
Draft up a letter, but I mean, it's full of left ears. Because soon as somebody's table under a stack of paper, all right, they got it, but it's gonna be the decision when they talk to their constituents.
I'll tell, you know, it's like, when I used to work at these, when there's a district that does something, they all come on stuff and request that a certain, whether it's a program or they lobby for that, or they lobby for, what is it, like, even Uber themselves are calling, and it may not be different, but as long as it's.
Yeah, I think it was district manager reached out to Solomon. I mean, talk to the education council.
Yeah, especially if it's like, okay, do I getting TYC their money might be hard. But if it's like something narrow, like the baseball field this summer, you know what I mean? I think that is like a little bit narrow in scope is a little bit more feasible. Now, don't get me wrong, I do want to draft a letter that might sit nowhere for QICD, but in reality, but like you said, if you were able for a short period of time to have a youth center with like various donations, I think if we could just focus on something that narrow, that might be feasible or something, so that 14-year-olds can play basketball on the basketball court and not.
I want to add, Mr. Chairman, that the board is inviting Borough Commissioner Bonde to, she's agreeing to, for Bronx Recreation to appear before the full board regarding updating comprehensive board on the St. Mary's Recreational Center. In building with Zion is talking about, this board has taken interest into some different action items for municipal services. It is the conditions of the center and why it's going to be built. Added to what I think the learning is leading to is the action item for the board, for this committee, as we look at the cuts, as it drastically has eroded the programming that impacts our young people, to writing a letter to speak to that these cuts, as we did against those cuts at the borough board meeting, the borough president, will be something that maybe the committee will consider and committee should take up. And so I don't know if you want to, if that's a motion or if they were going with it. And I understand that being one of the young people who understands your work and the education in the youth world, that how impactful that you are as supporters in making sure young people have places where they can be able to exacerbate their energy in positive ways and doing stuff. But unfortunately, over time, those things have been taken away from us, and it's unfortunate that yes, we have to figure out to put more dollars into volunteer responders, and there are less dollars, unfortunately, being allocated to recreational activities and other programming that could, or extending it something from one. We're working with the administration to highlight those things, and we have highlighted those concerns and those cuts that were proposed. This is preliminary budget now that the mayor proposed. There's always a possibility doing the dance that the mayor and executive budget may add the money back on. So this is, we can also, of course, ask the city council reps when they come to the full board meeting on Tuesday, the last Tuesday this month, to elaborate on their bosses' positions on the budget cuts as it impacts the district. Thank you.
I think the other thing, and everybody saw it.
Right, sure.
Like I hear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't, you know.
Yeah.
And then
We invite everyone.
community buyer. Also, if we could identify, like, you have like this whole city in your head. So we have to start talking about stuff. But if we can identify a community center or a place that is locked for 24 hours, you know what I mean? That we could be specific about.
We are the recreation center. We're talking about it now. The St. Mary's Rec
Well,
Center. St. Mary's
No,
Recreation
St.
Center.
Mary's Rec Center is different because it is under construction, right? I'm talking about something that is locked up because they don't have staff or whatever, right? St. Mary's, we need that to be fixed, and we have a whole issues about, you know, flooding and damage, and why is it taking so long to fix? But I think what you were saying is that there are places in the city, I mean, in our borough, in our district, that is not being utilized, that is locked up 24 hours, only God knows why, that the youth could use. I think that's what I was thinking of. I don't know if it's only PSATs based off of their done.
Right now. Some projects up there, but they also mostly something. Fairbank, this is the first. Fairbank used to be belonged to the city. And it's housing for adolescent youth. They gave it up. City gave it to the classic center. It has classrooms and gym. Wouldn't even let us know. We asked to visit it, Danny himself, you know, it was.
So, I mean, so that to me, I think becomes a very specific, in addition to like, hey, we need to ask
It's
this.
private property.
Oh, who does it belong to?
It's owned by the private. It's contracted as a safety shelter. So it's no longer a city, it's state property. So, but the one here on, the one next to Lincoln College, it's a safe haven. It's a shelter now. So it's for men and who use the old detention rooms as bedrooms to safe haven.
There's still a gym in there though.
All those spaces
Bronx
there,
works.
so right, Bronx works. So we
Right.
we tried it. We were working with another organization that was interested in using that space for Boys and Girls Club, because this office is working to try to bring a Boys and Girls Club to Mount Haven, and they're finding a hard time finding a space. We have some potential space less than 2 years out. So the Y is $600. My understanding is the Y is $600 for every 2 weeks.
What about some of the public schools? What about like Dunbar? What do we have to talk to in terms of series of public schools? Jim, on the custodian,
Right.
custodian,
Right.
Custodians,
Right, and it has to usually under it has to be a beacon program, and I don't want to disrespect our brothers' need to break fast, but there's each organization, a nonprofit has to apply for RFP to be able to open up a beacon program, or use the school where the custodian and security gets paid after hours to be able to for recreational activity. The RFP has to be awarded, it has to go through the whole process. Those contracts are every 5 years. That's if you apply to an RFP, it's once every 5 years, that's you awarded. But, right, but if you use, but, right, gym or whatever, but if you, quote unquote, I'm sorry, but, and to be a volunteer, the chair is right, you have to apply for a permit, and then all those salaries for folks that have to keep the school open has to get, paid into a bucket in order to, so you have to get the custodian, you have to have security, you have to have, permits if you're doing certain things and so on. Those all have also dollar amounts. Applying to a Beacon School RFP or Cornerstone RFP, that money comes out of the city competitive budget. And then usually a nonprofit's awarded that, and it's awarded in different schools that also principals have to agree because it's their building, that their classroom spaces and abilities. So that is also a lengthy process.
That's true. Whatever the process is, I would say, I think trying to figure out something. I know Bronx works, if they already own the gym in the pyramid or have the RFP for the gym in the pyramid, they do not, whatever the case is. If there's a way, I'm just saying when Ayala, Salamanca, whoever shows up, whatever legislators show up, there can be an act that is detailed, that is precise. That yes, we want you to adjust and restore the $19.6 million in DYCD. In addition, in the interim, there's this like ask we have for this. In the meantime, because it's not gonna cost $19.6 million to get something open on the weekend, especially since we lost St. Mary's Park. We can also buffer it, like, I understand there's tax dollars, but we lost St. Mary's Park, so we're like down a rec center. So like in the negotiation process, it's like, we have something to say to sound like we need something. I mean, I saw 12 officers at one point on Third Avenue, commanders in uniform. So I don't know, somebody get it from some program, I don't know, but figure it out. So I just think, I understand we have to go, but I think a plan in that level is the best plan possible. And so we can say we tried. It might be 50-4, but at least we can say that 50 people said no and 4 people said yes. We have something to say we tried.
You still playing? Still playing? But like basketball? I wanna coach too, like, I'm a little older now.
Go with off the different role of the team.
I have a gym with the Beacon.
Are you talking about Kappa? Kappa? Oh, not too close. Oh, I'll play too though. I'm 25, what's the age? Oh, all right, definitely. I'll pull up.
You ready to come back? Let's back on.
Let's do it.
So, Mr. Chairman, is it a motion that the board will work with, this committee will work to develop a draft letter that the full board will vote on in reference to for education cuts?
Youth and education.
Youth education cuts, is this a direction or?
Yes.
Is it a motion?
Yes, I, the Warning Board, make a motion that this board works on a letter to address youth and education cuts from the city's budget and any specific recommendation about rec centers in the breakfast, spaces that can be utilized for youth activities in the district.
Yes, I don't know, make it second. Just want to make sure that it is, are you leading the draft of the?
Yes, as chair of legislative bylaws and policy, I will draft something with a lot of spaces for recommendations, because I don't know about the recommendations, I call you not me.
Just so, one of the things schools that use are asked to open school spaces, right? Everybody on the team, everybody on the
No.
they can deal with it. But I don't used to have the milk trees. That's what-
Man.
In the old days,
Put a ladder in the fire seat.
old video basketball, 20s, we just had a rim on the phone. We had to carry the base, so we used a sewer to sewer. Right? We just yeah. Okay. Motion to
Adjourn, motion to adjourn.
yes.
I think the motion. We have to do the-
I second the motion to adjourn.
So,
Have a round of
okay.
applause.
I didn't know you got it.
Oh.